Hi everyone, welcome back to another beautiful day in Lala Land. Today I'm joined by the phenomenal and talented entrepreneur, Jayne McCaw. Jayne is the founder and owner of Jayne's Luxury Rentals, the first ever cottage rental company started in Muskoka, Ontario, providing luxury vacations in Muskoka's finest estates. The cottage rental business is booming with celebrities from all over the world vacationing in Muskoka. Jayne, thank you so much for joining us today. Lala Land, I had the absolute pleasure this past summer of working with Jayne, and I learned so much from her. So I'm so excited for you guys to hear a little bit about her experiences today.
Oh, you are so nice, Layla, and it was such a pleasure working with you this summer.
You're so sweet. Okay, so I wanted to start because a lot of the Lala Land people don't know that much about the cottage rental business.
Sure.
So I wanted to learn from you, what were you doing before you started Jayne's Cottages, and what led you to start Jayne's Cottages?
Okay. What I was doing before Jayne's Cottages is I was working in marketing. I started with craft foods, and I was a brand manager and worked my way up at Kraft over 7 years. And then from there, I had 4 kids in between that time, and I got involved in a startup business that was in media streaming. And so I became the marketing and sales of a company called InSync, and we got bought by a US company. But really between those about 15 years in business, I gained a good background in consumer packaged goods marketing as well as technology. And so I think those 2 factors really helped me get to the cottage rental business. It cost me about $12,000 to start up my business, and I thought, okay, well, if I'm going to be spending $12,000, that's a lot of money. I better go in this wholehearted and, don't look back. And so I went in with a good website. I went in with good systems in terms of technology. And I think because of my background in marketing and technology, it really set me up well to enter this market in Muskoka. There wasn't a lot of cottage rentals in the area. It was very difficult to find cottages on the 3 big lakes because there wasn't marketing.
I want to know from you then, you got this idea to start Jayne's Cottages by originally renting out your own cottage.
That's right.
But I think to get other people to put their cottages in your hands to rent is a lot of trust. How do you ensure trust between you and your clients when taking on their homes? This is people's homes.
Yeah, I know it's really difficult, especially for a newcomer. But truthfully, I lived in Toronto, so I had this huge network of people that had cottages in Muskoka. I had that sort of word of mouth that people trusted me. And in the beginning, only about 20 people trusted me to rent their cottage, and that those 20 got great money. Their cottage returned really, really well. And like other places, Muskoka's a small community. There's golf clubs, there's various places where word travels fast. And now we're over 300.
Wow, that's phenomenal. So aside from trust, why would somebody leave their cottage with Jayne's Luxury Rentals?
Great question. So when I started this business, when I was renting my cottage before I started this business, I took my family on a trip to the Luberon Valley in France. And to get to that location, to get to that place, I was searching all over VRBO looking for places to go. And I ended up being so confused. I really wanted to make sure that I was doing, planning it well, and we were spending our money well. So I clicked on this link. It was called Beverly Hills of Luberon Valley. And I clicked on her link, and I emailed her, and she said, why don't you give me a call? And so then we spoke, and she really gathered my trust. And so I decided to just look at her properties. I looked at her properties, I decided on one property. When we got there, she had set us up with a private chef and a shopping tour and a kayak tour. And I just thought, wow, like this is really cool. Thinking I'm percolating that idea in my head. And I get in touch with her when I'm ready to start the business 2 years later. This is how long I've been thinking about this idea. Like we went there in about 2012. I didn't start the business till 2014. So I thought about this idea for 2 years. And I kept on in the back of my mind thinking, there's got to be somebody that is going to be doing this business. It's just so obvious. Anyways, and so I get in touch with her in 2014 and said, Beverly, I'm interested in starting the business that you were doing in my area called Muskoka. And I said, why did you bring those cleaners in when we were there? And she said, oh, Jayne, those cleaners weren't for the guests. Those are for the owners to keep their eyes on their property.
Wow.
And so then I realized that, that is bingo. If I can, show those owners that I'm bringing in staff to be able to keep an eye on their property, that's going to be helpful. And the other thing that I really knew right from the get-go was there's no...
How exactly do you run this cottage rental process? So walk us through the whole thing.
Okay. With the way we are now, we are what I call ourselves is a decentralized 5-star private accommodation provider. So we are like a Four Seasons or a St. Regis, where somebody would be inquiring for a booking. We would be personally taking them through the different options for them. Once the reservation is made and confirmation is made, which means a deposit is made and the signed agreement is back, our concierge then reaches out to the guest and contacts them and sees whether they want a boat rental, a private chef, do they want any vacation planning help before their arrival. And then 3 weeks before their arrival, what we call as a cottage manager will get in touch with them, and they will say that they are their personal concierge during their stay. That cottage manager will provide their cell phone number and say that they're greeting them at the cottage. They will let them know, any little tricks about getting to the cottage, because sometimes there's rural country roads and stuff like that. And they'll also, answer any questions such as type of coffee maker, any other questions that the guest really has about maybe where's the closest grocery store. Our cottage managers are all locals, and they are all around my age for the most part, and they're just happy to visit guests. Mm-hmm. They're happy to be part of the experience. They're just wanting, some time in the summer to experience new people in this beautiful community that they love. They are so proud to be in Muskoka, and they really like sharing it. So that's sort of the walkthrough. If there's any problems at the cottage or any questions that the guest has during their stay, it's a quick text to the cottage manager, personal concierge, and they drop in during their stay as well. Also during the stay, there is cleaning that comes by every couple days, depending on the cottage that they have chosen, as well as weekly linen changes.
Okay. So this sounds like an incredible, smooth, happy, fabulous process, okay? You're staying at this beautiful cottage, you have great support around you. But I noticed in the process, there's a lot of concierge, there's your cottage managers, there's the cleaners, there's a lot of people working around that. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot of work for them. Mm-hmm. How do you maintain a vision and a passion and an excitement for your employees to work for Jayne's? I mean, I experienced it firsthand.
Great.
But I want to know.
Maybe you can tell us what you liked about it.
Well, I thought you were incredibly supportive.
Oh, great.
And I thought that was one of the things for me. Yeah. But what are some things that you feel like you try to do and put your best foot forward every day to make other people feel that way?
The most important thing that I think that I have brought to the company is this sense of that we are a hospitality business, mm-hmm. and we are in the customer service business. We are servicing our guests, and I think everybody in our office and our staff understands that our job is to service our guests to the best that we can and take every single issue as being very important. Now, sometimes we can talk behind the scenes that, this guest is high maintenance or whatever it is, but that is behind the scenes. And it's something where we can, vent after the fact, but it is so important to be able to conquer those situations. And so anyways, when we do have, and we don't really have that many situations as you saw, there's so much reasonableness out there, so when we have these, situations where there are difficult guests, it's we take it on as a challenge to us, as a positive thing, as it's like, okay, good luck, you're the one that's going to be dealing with this guest this year, and we're right there behind you. The other great thing that we have in our company that you will know is we have a click, so we have our click chat, which goes to all the people that are involved and can support each other. And so there is real teamwork. So, if one of our cottage managers has an issue and they say, this guest is, complaining about this board on the dock, what should I do? Then, we say no worries at all. We'll get one of our property guys to go over there and take a look. And so they, some people, anyways, I do think that everybody really just hunkers down and realizes that it's the summer, and it's only like a 10-week summer, and we just go for it. And at the end, we feel really good because we get all these great reviews, and we feel really great.
Yeah, so you've built this community for your employees pretty much, because I felt that as well.
Right.
Like, there's so much support. If you don't know the answer to someone, somebody else does.
Yeah.
And that was just so amazing.
Yeah.
And I think it really built trust not only between the employees and you, but between all of the employees.
Yeah. Great, thank you. It's so important, and we do have, many of our employees have been with us 5 or 6 years, which is a lot considering, 5 or 6 years ago I had 100 cottages. I didn't have 300. So anyways, we've got amazing employees. And there is no pointing fingers or anything. And another thing is, I'm really not the type of person that looks back on why things happen. It's okay, things happen. What are we going to do to make it better? Yeah. Let's work on getting it better. We can, we pretty much know what happened. We don't need to rehash that. Let's just make it better.
Yes, yeah. I love that. And I saw that from you. It's really amazing because what are we going to do when we're just dwelling on the past and our past mistakes? We make mistakes every single day.
It just causes more stress. Yeah. Let's just forget about that, and let's all work on getting our heads on making it better. And we make it better, and oh my God, it's so good.
I love that. I love that. I have one last question for you. What does success look like to you?
That's a great question. To tell you the truth, I never expected that this company would ever be like this. I really wanted to get involved in this business because I wanted to spend more time at my cottage. I was, 50 years old, and I was working at a company that the other technology company I was with had been sold. I was sort of, 50 years old and working for a startup, and it wasn't doing very well. It was 2009. And so I was pretty happy if this business got to have 15 cottages and I could stay at my cottage more. So I've achieved way more than I ever thought I could. So, success means to me, I'm very happy with where I am now, really, to tell you the truth. I've got 4 great kids. 3 of them are in the business. And my one daughter's having a baby, and we're all really happy. I've got a great partner. So I love the business. I have a lot of fun with the business, and I do plan on continuing to grow it. But I feel like I'm pretty happy with where I am right now too.
It's this feeling of content that you have because you know that you. Even on bad days, you're I put in the work, I wake up every day, I'm grateful for the things that I have, and I love what I do, and that's so important and so inspiring.
Thank you.
Best of luck to you. Thank you so much for joining us today on Lala Land.
You are so welcome, Layla. I always have so much time for you.
You're so sweet. Thank you, everyone in Lala Land. Have a great day.